Over the next hour, we will pay tribute to those who have made the ultimate sacrifice in service to their country. We'll highlight the skill and daring of our men and women in uniform, showcase some of the most sophisticated and powerful military hardware in the world, and celebrate the 1% of Americans who have heeded the call and sworn an oath to protect our freedoms. From world-famous Miami Beach, this is the 2024 National Salute to America's Heroes, presented by Hyundai. You'd be hard-pressed to find a more picturesque setting for one of America's premier air and sea shows. Perfect weather on this Memorial Day weekend greets the crowd as they arrive for what will be an action-packed day, filled with demonstrations by some of the U.S. military's most advanced hardware. But beyond the state-of-the-art machinery, those in attendance will get a chance to interact with the men and women who are serving their country, like the U.S. Air Force Honor Guard drill team.
The United States Air Force has the only bomber force in the free world. A lot of people don't understand that. And showcasing long-range strike to the American public is important to me. It's in the job title, Global Strike. So having the opportunity to showcase the professionalism of our force while also celebrating Memorial Day weekend, while we're also trying to convince young Americans to join our service, is a wonderful opportunity, and the weather down here is amazing.
And there may be no better way to showcase America's bomber force to the crowd gathered here on Miami Beach than by showing a demonstration rarely seen anywhere. 3 generations of long-range strategic bombers, the B-1, B-2, and the venerable B-52, flying in formation, an awe-inspiring sight for sure, and a dramatic way to kick off this year's show. It cuts across the clear blue sky like an airborne knife and never fails to stop a crowd in its tracks when it suddenly appears overhead. The B-2 Spirit, or stealth bomber, represents a major milestone in the U.S. bomber program. Its ultra-modern profile isn't just visually stunning. This flying wing design, meaning it has no fuselage or tail, along with a combination of reduced acoustic, infrared, visual, and radar signatures, makes this strategic heavy bomber nearly imperceptible to anti-aircraft defenses. Only a select group of highly skilled aviators make it through the specialized training program each year to earn the title of B-2 pilot. Keeping everyone's eye focused on the skies isn't difficult when members of 2 of the world's elite skydiving teams descend from above. Jumpers from the U.S. Army's Golden Knights and the Red Devils from Great Britain. Each proudly touches down in the landing zone on Miami Beach, carrying the flags of their respective countries. This pair of F-16 Fighting Falcons didn't have to go far to make an appearance at the Hyundai Air Sea Show. Based right down the road in Homestead, the Makos are part of the Air Force Reserve's 93rd Fighter Squadron. These compact, highly maneuverable aircraft can withstand up to 9 Gs and are capable of reaching speeds in excess of 900 miles per hour at sea level. Over in the display village, the Mission Barbecue food court is a popular spot among those in attendance. Mission Barbecue is dedicated to serving great barbecue and honoring those that serve and protect. Since their founding in 2011, Mission Barbecue has helped raise more than $20 million for a variety of charities that support service members, first responders, and their families. The 2024 National Salute to America's Heroes is presented by Hyundai. It's your journey. Own every mile in a brand new Hyundai. Still plenty more to come on this Memorial Day weekend from world-famous Miami Beach.
Miami Air Sea Show, in my eyes, I really see an opportunity to really showcase the United States Army and all of the wonderful technologies with the public. We just walked around Army Village. I mean, systems that you see on TV and the news. We got the tank. We have every branch represented. It's all about allowing our soldiers to talk with the public and say, hey, this is my job, this is what I do. And oh, by the way, this is an 80-ton car I take to work every day.
Welcome back to the 2024 National Salute to America's Heroes, presented by Hyundai. Even the setup at the Florida Power and Light Patriot Display Village is a spectacle, as an M1 Abrams battle tank is unloaded and makes its way to the spot on the shoreline of Miami Beach. Back out of the water, the legendary cigarette offshore powerboats are putting on a show for the crowd. For over 50 years, Cigarette Racing Team has become synonymous with high performance, luxury, and power. Just one pass of the FA-18 Super Hornet, and those watching will instantly understand why this aircraft is considered the backbone of the U.S. Navy's carrier air wing. Also known as the Rhino because of its protrusion on the front part of its radar, the FA-18 is a cutting-edge, next-generation, multi-role strike fighter. With its twin-engine configuration, the Super Hornet produces a breathtaking 44,000 pounds of thrust. All of that horsepower is on display here today as it shows off a mix of speed and incredible maneuverability. As a way of honoring the past, the crowd gets a chance to see the modern F-18 Rhino flying alongside a vintage aircraft like this FG-1D Corsair. During its heyday in World War II, the Corsair was one of the Navy and Marine Corps' premier fighting planes.
So this was a drill weekend, and it just so happened at 7:08 on a Saturday morning, they got a call from the Coast Guard that they were unable to effect a rescue for a seriously injured boy 350 miles off the shore on a cruise ship. Just a bunch of guys and gals that worked for the 920th came in that morning and they said, we can do this. So within 3 hours of the call, they launched 2 HC-130Js and 2 HH-60Gs out to sea, 350 miles that they had to fly out. Air refueled the helicopters en route, hovered over the cruise ship, and hoisted the 12-year-old boy and his mother up to the helicopter. Changed their plan at that time because they actually had pararescue and doctors on board the helicopter, and rerouted to North Carolina, which was the most accessible place of care and the closest. If they didn't make those choices, if they didn't get the call to the 920th, then the expectation 2-3 hours more and the 12-year-old wouldn't have survived. He had life-saving surgery once he got to North Carolina. He's doing well right now. One of 4,000 saves that the 920th Rescue Wing have done since 1990. So it's just their bread and butter. They came in for a drill weekend to do 2 days of, hey, I'm gonna go fly around the pattern a little bit, and they ended up rescuing a 12-year-old's life, which is just fantastic. It's just what we do.
And now the crowd here on Miami Beach gets to see firsthand the 920th Pararescue Wing in action. Headquartered at Patrick Space Force Base, Florida, the 920th is a premier combat search and rescue unit, and this demo really shows off what this team is capable of. Made up of 2 HH-60 Pavehawks, an HC-130J, and 4 A-10 Warthogs, the 920th provides search and rescue support for civilians who are lost or in distress, over land or at sea. assists humanitarian and disaster relief operations, and has even performed rescue support for NASA Space Shuttle missions during that program's operation.
It's a great weekend. We love it, the power and the might of the military equipment, but you know, the men and women who are behind that equipment is pretty spectacular. And I think all of the coordination behind the scenes, it is a year-long coordination, and then it finally culminates in these 2 days. So, you know, we feel very proud about having our partnership with it. It really is an incredible event. The new agreement was announced yesterday. We're gonna renew for another 3 years, so we're more than happy to continue to be here and glad to have the people of Miami and whoever else wants to come and experience this incredible 2-day event, which is really spectacular.
Over in the action zone, fans are treated to a different kind of air show. The Monster Energy Keith Sayers Freestyle Motocross team is keeping the excitement level high as these riders seemingly defy gravity while catching some serious air.
These guys are over here adjusting their course. They are definitely not used to riding in that's for sure.
If you've ever wondered what it looked like when an elite unit from a U.S. Customs and Border Protection swoops into action, this next demo will show you everything you need to know. With a combination of water and aircraft and some serious high-speed maneuvers, U.S. Customs Marine agents simulate chasing drug smuggling suspects on ocean waters off the beach, while air and marine operations helicopter pilots assist from the air, demonstrating their unique flying abilities. These air and marine units are part of the U.S. Department of Homeland Security and are ready for anything, protecting our borders from the air, land, and sea. It's not just drug smugglers they're chasing. These teams also help with immigration and protect us from acts of terrorism. Crews work together with other federal, state, and local law enforcement agents to keep our homeland safe. So much more to come from the world-famous Miami Beach as the 2024 National Salute to America's Heroes continues.
When I think about Memorial Day, I think about all those that served before who, really those that did not make it and sacrificed so much for this nation.
We're celebrating the sacrifice, we're celebrating the service of everybody who's ever served, and even more so for those who gave the ultimate sacrifice.
We all have someone or a situation or a scenario that on Memorial Day, we reflect personally.
By myself, I'll think back to my friends and subordinates and peers that I've lost.
I personally reflect upon Second Lieutenant Joey Fortin, who is from my hometown. He's my cousin that actually died in Baghdad 15 years ago this August, while I was deployed to Baghdad also.
When I was a cadet at the Air Force Academy, we lost Prince Hill as a cadet. Shortly after graduation, I lost Lieutenant Danny Williams in an A-10 accident, and I still remember him. My flight commander over in Germany, Captain Mikey Crandall, and then Lieutenant Colonel Dylan McFarland, who was an F-16 pilot like myself, lost him in an F-16.
I certainly remember a young medic that served with me in Afghanistan, Private First Class Jefferson, and when our platoon sergeant was injured, he came to the aid and was killed by another IED. So I think about what they did for this nation, how they served, the friendships, the camaraderie.
My dad served in the Navy in World War II, the Army in Korea, and the Air Force in Vietnam. Certainly think of him and proud to serve, to follow in his footsteps.
I would ask those who don't necessarily have a name engraved in their skull, just to go walk a cemetery, just think about what is occurring in Arlington right now at the National Cemetery, and just realize the significance of it, right? And then feel free to celebrate. The reason you can celebrate is because of what they have done.
I think about them because I would not be here without their sacrifice to not only their fellow men and women in uniform, but to this nation. And because of that, I thank them, I think about them, and I will continue to carry that legacy and open doors for our future.
But to this day, what he did for the United States Air Force and what he did for the defensive systems on the F-16, leave a lasting legacy.
Okay, look, it's a day of remembrance and recognition and respect and gratitude. All of that feeds into go out and enjoy being an American.
Welcome back to the 2024 National Salute to America's Heroes, presented by Hyundai. Before they suited up and showed off for the crowds here on Miami Beach, the servicemen and women in town attended the performers' takeoff party at 1-800-LUCKY in the heart of Wynwood. There was plenty of good food and drink as everyone got a chance to relax and catch up with friends before it was time to get down to business.
I was just down in New Orleans as they deployed this summer. They just deployed over to Kadena Air Base in the Pacific to do some deterrence operations and actually get familiarized with the area. And so it's a wonderful unit. They have 20 F-15s. They sit Homeland Defense 24/7 right there in Louisiana, guarding the skies of our nation. And then, of course, they'll deploy overseas when the nation needs them. Yeah, those are the men and women defending our freedom. It's awesome.
And the 159th Fighter Wing from the Louisiana Air National Guard are with us today, performing in their F-15 Eagles. These tactical fighter jets you're watching achieve air superiority through a mixture of unprecedented maneuverability, acceleration, range, weapons, and avionics. An F-15 can penetrate enemy defenses in any weather conditions it encounters. Powered by 2 Pratt & Whitney turbofan engines, these planes have a range of just over 3,000 miles and can reach speeds in excess of 1,800 miles per hour. This trio of AH-64 Apache Longbow helicopters are the U.S. Army's Heavy Division attack helicopters. These are twin-engine, 4-bladed, multi-mission aircraft and are the first helicopters deployed for day, night, and adverse weather combat missions. As you can see, the Apache is nimble, highly responsive. Add to that the array of advanced tech on board, and it's easy to see why it's used to defend against threats on land, sea, and air.
Hyundai is a fabric of the United States of America for a couple of reasons. Number one, we've got a huge manufacturing footprint in Montgomery, Alabama, and we're now building our new all-electric meta plant in Savannah, Georgia. It's all part of a $12.6 billion investment in Savannah, Georgia. We're also going to bring high-paying manufacturing jobs to the tune of about 8,700 to Savannah, Georgia as well. So we're contributing to the GDP, but more importantly, we're becoming a fabric of the manufacturing base in the United States, and so the partnership is real. We're putting our money where our mouth is.
Sophisticated fighter jets might not be the first thing that comes to mind when you think of the United States Marine Corps. But that's exactly who deploys the F-35B Lightning II. This is the Marines' variant of a joint strike fighter and features a vertical liftoff fan and pivoting engine nozzle, which allows it to land vertically while also making it capable of using short runways. These features make the F-35B perfect for the Marine Corps and its mission of supporting its troops anytime, anywhere. The 2024 National Salute to America's Heroes is presented by Hyundai. It's your journey. Own every mile in a brand new Hyundai. Still plenty more to come on this Memorial Day weekend from world-famous Miami Beach.
It's amazing that as far as bringing in the resources, capturing in a great venue. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better venue, looking out on the ocean like that with all those boats out there. But what's the importance of it? One, it's a chance for the military to engage with the people that we're responsible for protecting. It's very clear that over the last 20, 30 years, we started growing apart a little bit. It became, in my case, it was a family business, right? And so people who are joining the Army now, there's a proclivity towards, if you're folks who serve, then you want to serve. But there's also a declining proclivity to serve because our young men and women just don't know anything about the military. And so events like this allow us to kind of bring the military to them and see, obviously, some of the great, cool stuff, right? Everyone wants to see the B-1 bomber and the B-52s and the F-18s and the helicopters and the small boat teams, and that's all cool. That is what, a large part of our military is about. There's so much more that our military is about that you don't see in the Air Sea Show that I wish we could also bring. It's the teamwork, it's the camaraderie, it's a sense of purpose, and the benefits that you will get out of military service later on. Now, when you walk through the village and you get a chance to talk to the tank crewmen, the vehicle crewmen, the helicopter pilots, the mechanics, then you'll see the rest of it. I mean, that's the glamorous, pointy end of the spear, if you will. That's the real meat. I mean, that's the thing that's the magic sauce, if you will, that makes this so good, is the people that you'll see in the village. So you put all that together and you get a great depiction of the Department of Defense and the U.S. military and what it can do for our communities and our people and for our young men and women who choose to serve.
Welcome back to the 2024 National Salute to America's Heroes, presented by Hyundai. Along with the performers' takeoff party, the Vodka Salute on Espanola Way has become something of a Memorial Day weekend tradition here on Miami Beach. With a host of restaurants and sponsors supporting this event, it's just another way everyone involved shows their support and appreciation for the men and women who serve our country. There may not be a more appropriate named aircraft than the B-52 Stratofortress bomber. Its massive silhouette is as intimidating as it is imposing. Almost as old as the Air Force itself, the B-52 has been in service for the Air Force since 1955. With a wingspan of 185 feet, it's capable of carrying up to 70,000 pounds of weapons and has an almost unbelievable combat range of more than 8,800 miles. Upgraded multiple times since its introduction nearly 70 years ago, the B-52 has earned the title as one of the Air Force's most reliable workhorses of all time. To kick off the weekend, the U.S. Coast Guard Air Station Miami and Opa-locka played host for a combined media day and enlistment swearing-in ceremony.
I now invite you to turn your attention to the right as the United States Air Force Honor Guard drill team performs for us today.
Integrity first, service before self, excellence in all we do. We present to you the Ambassadors in Blue, your United States Air Force Honor Guard Red Team.
Today, Hyundai is pleased to donate $50,000 to Folds of Honor to provide scholarships to spouses and children of America's fallen and disabled service members.
Today's ceremony recognizes the sacrifice and strength of so many, as well as the beginning of journeys that will take our soldiers to places they can't imagine.
If anybody wants to worry about where this country is going, if you look over here, you can feel very comfortable that we have a bright future because of individuals like this. Thank you very much for what you're doing.
Do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States. So help me God. Welcome to the team.
those in attendance got an opportunity to meet some of the dignitaries on hand and got an up-close look at some of the equipment to be featured at the Hyundai Air Sea Show. And as impressive as the hardware is, it's the men and women of the U.S. military that are often the most inspiring. With their motto, ready for anything, the Red Devils parachute team from Great Britain is a perfect addition to this Memorial Day celebration. Formed in 1964, this 15-member team performed over 350 tandem parachute descents and 60 public displays each year in the UK and internationally at events just like this. Much like their counterparts here in the States, the competition is intense for a spot on the Red Devils. We got a glimpse of this aircraft earlier in the show when it shared the skies with the B-52 and the B-2. But now it's ready to take center stage as it flies solo over the Miami Beach shoreline, often referred to as the Bone. The Air Force's B-1 Lancer is a supersonic, variable sweep-wing heavy bomber. A version of the B-1 has been flying since the mid-'80s, carrying the largest conventional payload of both guided and unguided weapons in the Air Force's inventory. The multi-mission B-1 is the backbone of America's long-range bomber force. It can rapidly deliver massive quantities of precision and non-precision weapons against any adversary, anywhere in the world, at any time.
I come from a military background. My father fought in 3 wars. He fought in World War II, he fought in Korea, he fought in Vietnam, and retired from the military after 30 years serving in the United States Army. My brother also served as a brigade surgeon in the United States Army, which paid his way through med school so that he could continue to serve and save lives. Now me, I took the easy way out. I played basketball in college, but nevertheless, the values that I was taught at a very early age in a military upbringing, teamwork, servant leadership, esprit de corps, means a great deal to me, and I transfer those values into my everyday life. For me personally, just being here and being able to support our United States military is extremely, extremely important.
Still plenty more to come on this Memorial Day weekend from world-famous Miami Beach.
So the Air National Guard essentially has the mission of the United States Air Force: to fly, fight, and win, air power, anytime, anywhere in the world. For the Air National Guard, it starts in the homeland, obviously, because we're located in all 50 states, 3 territories in the District of Columbia. We have airmen from Guam to Maine and from Alaska to Puerto Rico. If you want to serve your country, you can serve locally in the Air National Guard. We also obviously mobilize and we go overseas. And so we have the Army National Guard and the Air National Guard. And right now between both, we have 42,000 members deployed worldwide in over about 110 countries. The Hyundai Air Sea Show, it's great because it's not just demonstrating and showing the military, but it's also demonstrating and showing our first responders. So it's really thanking those that serve our nation, both in the military and our first responders. And on Memorial Day weekend, you know, the start of the summer for some, for a military member, it's a time of remembrance. We remember those that came before us and lost their lives in service to their nation. For me, on Memorial Day, it's great to be out here to honor the current generation that is serving and also hopefully motivate the next generation to serve. And that's why the Air and Sea Show is so important to us. And so get those folks out here to see what you can do in the military. It's absolutely wonderful.
Welcome back to the 2024 National Salute to America's Heroes, presented by Hyundai. A popular spot out in the Florida Power and Light Patriot Display Village is the Nicholas Children's Hospital Kids Zone, where there's no shortage of fun, no matter your age. A fixture at air shows and big events across the country, the U.S. Army Golden Knights are synonymous with precision skydiving, combining skill, teamwork, and more than a little daring. The Golden Knights never fail to wow an appreciative crowd. As this elite parachute team performs a variety of breathtaking routines. Since their formation in 1959, the Golden Knights have become some of the Army's most high-profile ambassadors as they entertain and interact with people all over the world. When the United States Air Force needs to move a massive amount of cargo and personnel, the C-17 Globemaster is more than up to the job. This 4-engine high-wing transport plane was designed to fly anywhere in the world and is capable of taking off and landing on short or rough runways. With a range of nearly 6,500 miles, the Moose has a maximum payload of about 170,000 pounds. For over 60 years, the KC-135 has been refueling strategic bombers and extending the range of tactical fighter jets. The crew on a KC-135 includes an in-flight refueling specialist. This airman is tasked with operating a specialized boom out of the back of the aircraft that is used to pump fuel into planes at airspeeds in excess of 350 miles per hour, and all while flying no more than 20 feet apart.
I used to say when I would enlist a soldier, parents would be at the ceremony. I always look at the parents and go, hey, thank you for trusting us. Thank you for trusting us with the development and the safety of your son or daughter. And I think that's also one of the benefits out here is it's about mom and dad. It's not just about the young kid who's about to graduate high school and maybe wants to enlist in the military. It's about developing trust with our America's moms and dads, right? So they understand that people like me and all the leaders that represent the Army understand we have an obligation to take care of your child, right? And we have means to do it. We have resources, we have schooling. We will make sure they're properly trained. We give them the best equipment that money can buy. Without a doubt, there's none better in the world right now. That's our commitment of trust to America.
It's hard to believe, but the United States Coast Guard performs nearly 20,000 rescue operations a year. And while this demonstration is sure to entertain those gathered here today, this is also a valuable training exercise that will help keep this crew ready whenever it's needed. Using an HC-144 Ocean Sentry and an MH-65 Dolphin helicopter, the team shows the crowd an example of the kind of rescue operation they could be called to perform at a moment's notice. As the Maritime Security, Search and Rescue, and Law Enforcement branch of the U.S. military, the Coast Guard is also a federal law enforcement agency involved in everything from drug enforcement to immigration. In all, the Coast Guard is responsible for patrolling more than 100,000 miles of U.S. coastline and inland waterways. The 2024 National Salute to America's Heroes is presented by Hyundai. It's your journey. Own every mile in a brand new Hyundai. So much more to come from the world-famous Miami Beach as the 2024 National Salute to America's Heroes continues.
I think most people know that right after the Korean War, South Korea was very decimated and did this incredible transformation to rebuild itself. Hyundai is one of those companies that helped really put the people of South Korea back to work. But part of that history is also built on the fact that our military also helped align itself with South Korea, but we also helped it grow as a country as well. So we just have a lot of ties with South Korea in many ways, and our militaries are another, web of that fabric. And so it just seems like a natural inclination. And as a company, we have a lot of programs that help support our veterans. We're a big supporter of helping to put vets to work. We're one of the biggest employers of veterans, and a lot of programs to help give discounts and support families. And then, of course, this partnership and this sponsorship of this weekend. So a very important community to us on many levels and many facets.
Welcome back to the 2024 National Salute to America's Heroes, presented by Hyundai. On Saturday, after the Hyundai Air Sea Show, attendees were invited to enjoy an evening of free entertainment on Miami Beach's Ocean Drive. DJ Alex Dena, the U.S. Army As You Were Band, and the Miami Beach Classical Music Festival Orchestra all performed for an enthusiastic crowd. A 3D mapping projection illuminated the facades of iconic Ocean Drive buildings with patriotic graphics. It was all capped off with a spectacular U.S. Army Golden Knights nighttime pyro parachute jump and the Florida Restaurant and Logging Association fireworks extravaganza. Here's a little known fact. The National Nuclear Security Administration actually has its own Air Force. This Bell 412 helicopter is part of a fleet of fixed and rotary wing aircraft that make up the aerial measuring system. This helicopter is equipped with radiation sensing technology that helps protect the public at large public events. Trained for almost every military scenario imaginable. The U.S. Army Special Operations Team is famous for taking some of the military's most sensitive missions, and this exercise will give those along the shore an experience they won't soon forget. Also known as the Green Berets, these soldiers work in small teams using the most advanced technology, weapons, and gear to fight terrorists and foreign adversaries abroad. As its name implies, Army Special Forces are made up of elite soldiers who undergo rigorous training and highly selective evaluation, ensuring only the best of the best become part of the team. With air support provided by the MH-60 Seahawk and the legendary Apache attack helicopter, this Special Forces unit storms the beach, overwhelms the enemy, and secures the area.
It all started for me at an air show. So, that's the power of a weekend like this. You get to see something that excites you, and you chase your dream. That's what the military is. That's what the Air Force, Army, Navy, Marines, Coast Guard, Space Forces. Most people join the Air Force for various different reasons. They want a skill set, they want to leave home, they want to see the world, they want to do something different. But once you get into the Air Force, Army, Navy, Marines, Space Force, or Coast Guard, you actually start seeing individual impact and the team that's on those different branches of the department. You get to realize that you can do things that you'll never have the opportunity to do outside, and make differences in the nation, make differences in our allies and partners, make differences in the lives of our airmen, soldiers, sailors, Marines, and Guardians, and their families. And once you do that, I call it getting hooked. Fish on, right? So as soon as you get that, it's time to keep serving.
The U.S. Army Golden Knights is a group of select soldiers specially trained in tandem parachute and accelerated freefall techniques. Gazing skyward, those in attendance get to watch as the team shows off its amazing skill, coordination, and precision timing, freefalling as smoke canisters leave colorful trails across the sky. The British Army's Red Devils are regular serving paratroopers from 4 battalions of the Parachute Regiment who have volunteered to serve on the display team. Just like the Golden Knights, The Red Devils complete mandatory training each winter to maintain their skill set and work on new routines. There is no better visual representation of this nation's air power history than seeing a vintage P-1 and a state-of-the-art Air Force F-35A sharing the sky together. Performances like this are the perfect way to honor those who have served our country with honor and those who are currently protecting us around the world. Capable of performing almost any role imaginable today, whether strike, support, or reconnaissance, with greater efficiency than any other aircraft made to date, the F-35A was designed to dominate the skies for the United States and its allies. This multi-role stealth fighter features a Pratt & Whitney F-135 afterburning turbofan jet engine that propels it to a sound barrier shattering top speed of over 1,200 miles per hour. That's over Mach 1.6. The cockpit is also state-of-the-art, delivering a full panel-width panoramic glass cockpit display, as well as a host of bleeding-edge avionics and sensors. Much of the cockpit has been optimized for speech recognition interaction, allowing the pilot to control many parts of the jet by voice alone. Along with its high-speed aerial vehicles, the F-35's flare kit is guaranteed to create one of the more popular photo ops of the day. We hope you've enjoyed the 2024 National Salute to America's Heroes, presented by Hyundai. A special thanks to the men and women of the United States military and our first responders who keep us safe and allow us to enjoy events like this. And to those who have made the ultimate sacrifice in service of this great nation, we will never forget you.